afternoon to everyone. Okay, today's practical, we are going to make a chicken galantine. We are going to poach chicken galantine and we are going to cover it with a shofra sauce. Okay, now as we have discussed in the previous theory classes and the PPT that has been shown to you, okay, we are going to debone a chicken with the skin, making sure the skin is intact. Okay, at no point of time when you are deboning the chicken with a knife, you should pierce or damage the skin. Very important, the skin has to be intact. Okay, now coming to the force meat, the stuffing, we have already understood that there are 4 classical types of force meat. In this 4 classical types of force meat, today we are going to see the first classical force meat, that is a simple force meat. Okay, it is going to be a very nice and a thick emulsion, but the only way we are going to achieve that emulsion is by making sure that all the ingredients are properly chilled and at a good chilling temperature. Okay, along with the ingredients, the equipment also has to be chilled. Now I will show you what are the different ingredients that we are going to use today for the galantine. Okay, so here we've got 2 whole chicken birds. Okay, one will be deboned with the meat. Okay, the next another one will be, the skin will be removed and only the meat will be used. Okay, and then the bones, we are going to make a chicken stock of the bones, a nice rich chicken stock in which we are going to poach the chicken. Okay, now while making the force meat, you have to understand very important, like I told you before, there are 2 kinds of binders. One, primary binder. For primary binder, we will be using a panada. Panada is basically your bread, milk and cream soaked together. Okay, that will be using as a panada into the force meat. Okay, secondary binder that we are going to use is going to be our eggs. These are going to give us a good binding and a good structure to the galantine. Okay, other than these 2, the other things that are going to come into the force meat are, we are going to use onions, okay, mushrooms, carrots, leeks and celery. Okay, mushrooms are going to be chopped fine and then we are going to saute it with onions with a little bit of brandy. Okay, the spices we are going to use is, we have 2 different varieties of salt. Okay, Himalayan pink salt and your normal salt. Then we are going to use crushed peppercorns, garlic powder, rosemary, dried tarragon, okay, and fine chopped garlic. Now if you see closely, we have pistachio which is already blanched, chopped and peeled. Okay, this pistachio and the prunes will go as internal garnishes inside the force meat. Okay, along with we are having boiled egg. So we are going to, when you cut the force meat, now say for example, this is your galantine. So when I cut a slice, in the slice you will see there is an egg in between the force meat and there is random garnishes of prunes and pistachio, okay, that are distributed evenly. Okay, we are also going to use a little bit of butter, okay, to give it a nice smooth rich texture, okay, and a rich taste. And all the scrap which is going to come out of these vegetables, okay, like we have here, we are going to use it for the stock. Okay, now when I am making the stock, I will flavor the stock with a little bit of wine. Okay, this way, these are all ingredients. Okay, each and every ingredient, each and every component is very important when you are making a proper galantine, because the end taste, the end product comes out very rich, okay, very flavorful, and because of these different components, the final presentation is going to be, it is going to affect the final presentation, okay, and the taste. Okay, so we'll start off with making the panada. Okay, we will soak the milk, the cream and the bread together. Okay, for which I will require steel bowl. Okay, in which I will be, now before we start this, okay, I will show you other few equipment which I am using today. A knife for deboning your chicken. Okay, a meat mallet. Now this is used basically for two reasons. One is either to tenderize your meat. Two, you can also use this mallet to flatten your meat. Okay, so that the meat is even. When we are using a meat mallet, we will use a food grade plastic cover, so that to make sure that the meat is even on all sides. Okay, and if we are using, the reason we are using this plastic cover is also that when you are using a meat mallet and beating the chicken, okay, very important, if you do not use this plastic cover, your meat will get stuck to a chopping board. So to prevent that also, we are going to use this. Okay, now for tying the galantine, we are going to use a muslin cloth. Okay, we are going to roll the chicken inside the muslin cloth, tie both ends neatly and tightly, and then drop it into the stock. Okay, and then it will slowly poach in the stock. Okay, now always remember, whenever you are making galantine, make sure your ingredients are of the freshest quality, and secondly, it has to be in a proper temperature. Okay. We will remove the outer part of the bread and we will use only the middle part of the bread, which is the white section. So we will remove all the brown section, because even the brown section which is on the outside, if it is used for the force meat, it might change the color of the force meat. Okay, so we have to be very careful not to change the final color of the end product. Okay. So as you see, I have cut the breads into cubes. Okay, now we will be adding the milk and the cream and soaking the bread for a while till the bread becomes moist, and we are able to mix it into the force meat. Now at this point, I told you how you have to maintain the amount of liquid or amount of moisture which is being added into the force meat. Okay. Whenever you are making a force meat, okay, paratha is a very good binder, and also it will give a nice structure and fluffiness, and it will aerate the force meat. Okay, it will make it nice and airy and fluffy. Okay, so that is why we require, this is the primary binding ingredient. Okay, so now this we are going to keep it aside. Okay, and we are going to wrap it in wrap. it to a fridge and hold it till such time when we are going to actually prepare the force meat. Okay. Now butter. Now we are going to process the vegetables. Okay, we are going to cut the vegetables. Mushrooms have been washed. Okay, remove the stem of the mushroom. Okay, remove and discard the stem of the mushroom. You could actually use it for a stock. So you don't require, it's not required to totally throw the mushroom ends. They can be used as a stock to flavor the stocks. Make sure your mushrooms are cut evenly, even dices, small even dices. As you will be sauteing the mushrooms in butter, okay, there will be a lot of moisture content which will be lost and the mushroom will actually shrink down. Okay, so you have to make sure that even after it shrinks, the mushroom is still able to hold its shape. We don't want a very fine dice of mushroom. We need the mushroom to be seen inside the force meat. I hope everyone remembers your basic cuts of knife, basic cuts of vegetable, okay, basic knife cuts. Okay, we have cut the mushrooms, onions and celery and leeks, okay, into small fine dices. Not very fine, but it should be visible. Okay, so when we saute all this and mix it with our force meat, and when you make a chicken galantine, after it, when you are slicing the chicken galantine, around the force meat you will be able to see these different internal, these are called as internal garnishes. Okay, you got dices of pepper, okay, and then you got brunoise of carrot, okay. So all these are internal garnishes for your galantine. Now we will start with sauteing the mushrooms. Okay, nice non-stick pan. Make sure your non-stick pan is clean. Now this time I would like to use some garlic. Not fine chopped, but fine sliced garlic. Okay, would suffice. saute the onions. Try to keep the heat at a minimum. Okay, do not at any point of time to make sure that your whatever you are sauteing in the pan does not change its color. Okay, any change of color in the vegetables will automatically change the color of your final product. Okay, so if you make it very brown here, it will change your final product from a creamy white to a brown. So we should not. The next, after the onions, we will be adding the leeks and the celery. Just sweat it, okay, just let it sweat, but at the same time make sure there is no change in the color. Now we will add the mushrooms. At this time, I would like to add a little bit of crushed pepper. And some Himalayan pink salt. Some rosemary. Some thyme. Some tarragon. You can also use thyme, you can use different kinds of herbs. Okay. And some garlic powder. There is no hard and fast rule for using any kind of herbs. But make sure your herb is not dominating the meat and it should complement the meat. Okay. Now I will add a little bit of brandy to flavor my garnish. Okay, once your vegetables are nicely sauteed, okay, dish them out onto a plate, onto a flat plate, and allow them to cool down. Very important for your vegetables to cool down and to come to room temperature before you add them to force meat. Okay, if you are adding anything hot to a cold force meat, you will have a lot of structural the force meat will not be a proper and a uniform mix. Okay, if you are adding something hot to a cold force meat, it is like adding a hot element to a cold desert. What happens? The cold desert goes flat. So when you are mixing, when you are doing a chicken galantine, okay, and when you are making sure that the force meat is actually nice and cold and chilled at a proper temperature, and you add a vegetable mix which is not properly cooled, okay, there are chances of food poisoning. Okay, so make sure that everything is nice and chilled before we proceed to the next. Okay, now we are going to make a stock, basic stock, but before we start doing a stock, okay, we will start with, I'll show you how to debone the chicken. Okay, now we are going to debone a chicken. Okay, basically you are going to cut at the back part, open the back part and slowly remove the meat from the bone. Now for this particular technique of deboning a chicken, okay, the only part that you are going to use is the tip of the knife. Okay, since it is a bone and it is not, the knife is not going to cut through the bone, all you have to do is scrape the meat off the bone very slowly. Okay, so first we are going to cut off the wings at the joint. Okay, and then flip the chicken over. And then you're going to dislocate the shoulder blade, okay, the shoulder joint. This is the shoulder ball which you're going to dislocate. Okay, so you're going to dislocate the shoulder blade. The ball socket which joins your hand, the wing, to the shoulder. Okay, you're going to remove this carefully, just by sliding your knife inside. Now this requires a little bit of practice, hence I would suggest everyone, if possible, to buy a chicken at home or even go to your friends, okay, and try to debone a chicken. Now this here is the oyster. Okay, we are going to detach the meat from the oyster. And you see the board which is here, we'll give it a soft break and be very careful not to damage the skin in any way. Now you can see slowly we are detaching the skin. We are detaching the bones from the skin. Okay. So we have completely detached the bone, okay, from the meat. Okay, this is how to do it. Now after this, the next step, you have to remove the, you can either remove the wishbone before, this is called as a wishbone. This is usually located in your jugular vein. Okay, so this is very important to remove, but at the same time you should remember, since the chicken, we have to make sure that we preserve the maximum meat. Okay, and only remove the bones. Now you can either remove this fat or let it stay, but if you let it stay, your chicken is going to become too fatty. So it's better if we remove the fat before we go ahead with the, okay, now you see this part here. Now what we have to do is, now we're going to debone this. Just scrape off using a knife, just scrape off the meat, okay, so that the bone is revealed. Now as you are doing this, you can turn your chicken around, so it is easy to work into the chicken. Leg is off, okay. please make sure that when you are deboning it, you have to feel the bone with your hand. You cannot feel the bone with a knife. You have to know exactly where the knife is. You have to guide the knife when you are deboning the chicken. Okay. Now you can remove this wing part. Okay. But if you see on a whole, the entire chicken is deboned and you see the skin is intact. Okay. The entire skin is intact. It is stuck to the meat. This is what exactly we are trying to achieve when we are doing a galantine. Okay. Now after you do this, the next step is you have to try to fill up this, you see this rest of the gap which is in between, we are trying to fill this gap up. So we are going to take out some of the chicken, the supreme, okay, and fill it up there. Now we have, as we have removed the bones, okay, the skin part you can discard it, because when you are making a stock, it is very important that there are only bones. If there is any skin or the fat left with the bones, it will give a very cloudy stock. So the skin has to be removed before you start the stock. Now the meat is deboned. Okay, we will transfer it to this plastic sheet. Okay, cover it. And now I will show you how to use a meat mallet. As you feel, the meat is now flat. Okay, I have spread the meat evenly by beating the meat with the meat mallet so as to flatten out the meat. Make sure that the meat is evenly spread, so that when we are going to put the stuffing in between and roll it, we make sure that we are having a nice piece of large meat which can be rolled neatly. Okay, now this meat is going to go into the chiller until we make a force meat, and such time till the force meat is ready and we are ready to stuff it. Till then I am going to keep this inside the chiller. Okay, so I am going to maintain the temperature. Very important, you have to maintain the temperature. Okay, now that we have removed all the bones, okay, and removed the skin and cut the chicken into pieces. Very important, before you put this into the chiller, we have to season it. Now you are going to season the chicken with some lemon zest. Okay, a green lemon, you take a grater, okay. Green lemon gives you a very nice lemony, zesty flavor into the chicken. Okay. If you add too much of the lemon zest, okay, your chicken will be tasting a little bitter. So you have to be very sure of how much to add. It should be just the right quantity. Okay, since the chicken is very less here, we are going to just add just a little. So I added lemon zest to the chicken. Now I'll add some crushed pepper powder just on the top. Okay, to let the chicken marinate a little bit, help it to pull the flavor, and I'm going to add a little bit of Himalayan pink salt. Okay. Now we are going to transfer this into the chiller, okay, and keep it for a while till the meat is nicely chilled. Okay, before we start with the actual processing of the force meat. Okay. Okay, so for the stock we'll be using bones, okay, scrap from all the vegetables, the onions, the carrot. This is basically like a milpua. Okay, then bay leaves and peppercorns. Okay, we are going to use the chili oil for flavor, and we are going to add a little bit of wine to enrich the stock. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is add the oil to the pan. We will add the bay leaves and a few peppercorn, okay, and then we will add the bones. Very important to understand that when you add the bones, make sure the bones are nicely browned. Okay. Now we will add the milpua. Let it saute for some time. And then we will add the water to the top. enough water in the stock and let the stock boil. Okay, as the stock boils, once it comes to a boiling point, you will see a white foam which is being surfaced on the top. Remove the scum, okay, or skim the scum and discard it. Okay, if you allow the scum to boil with the stock, it will give a stock a very bad flavor. So you have to remove the scum, and then we will add red wine, okay, and flavor the stock. So once the stock is boiling, it will be ready for us to drop our galantine inside, so that it submerges inside and keeps cooking. Okay, now we'll just leave the stock here for some time, let it come to a boil. Okay, so as you have seen, the stock is boiling and there is a raft that has come onto the surface. This raft of scum is all the impurities that come out of the bones while boiling. It is very important for us to remove the raft without disturbing the stock. Okay, this is the raft. Okay, the scum has to be removed. If this scum is not removed, you will get a very unclear stock, and it won't be a good flavorful stock. Okay, so the scum has to be removed. Now at this time, we will add some wine to the stock to flavor the stock. Preferably when you are using wine to flavor a stock, okay, consider using white wine for white meat and red wine for red meat. But in case of chicken, you can either use both red wine and white wine. As you have seen, this is the force meat, okay, which has been made with the panada and the cream. Okay, now to this force meat, we'll first sieve the force meat so that there are no other impurities, and we have a very smooth and a fine texture of force meat. Okay. As a secondary binder, you can use egg, you can use mashed cooked rice. Okay. Very important before we go ahead with this is, okay, you have to understand that we have to check the seasoning in the force meat. Okay, the seasoning in the force meat has to be checked. So in order to do that, okay, so once your force meat is prepared, see how smooth, light and airy the force meat is. It is looking like a nice whipped cream. Okay, now we will test the force meat for seasoning. Okay, how do you test the force meat for seasoning? You have to, in stock, okay, we are going to drop a small amount of the force meat. We are going to make it like a quenelle. Okay, so this is actually a quenelle. Okay, what I am doing here is I am actually making a quenelle. Okay, we are going to drop this into the mixture and let it cook. As to understand how the force meat is made, okay, and what is the texture of the force meat, if we need to adjust the texture, the seasoning, okay. Cook the force meat in stock. If the force meat is able to hold its shape when it's cooking, that means it's a really very good force meat. Okay. Bad qualities of a force meat: when you put a force meat in the water, it should disintegrate. If it disintegrates, that means the quality is bad. Either the moisture is too much or the emulsion has not properly been done. Okay, we will remove the force meat and check for the doneness and the quality of the force meat. Okay. It needs to cook a little bit more, but otherwise it is able to hold the structure. Okay, the most important point, it is able to hold the structure. Whatever structure I am giving the force meat, it is able to hold that structure, basic structure. So that means it is a good quality force meat, and it is, if you see very closely, it is springy, okay, to the touch. If you see very closely, okay, it is springy, it springs up, okay, it is, and it is not changed the shape, okay. So that means it's a good force meat. Now we are going to test the force meat for seasoning. The seasoning should not be very, it should not be too robust, okay, it has to be very mild. Okay, now we have got a force meat which is chilled. Okay, if you see the side of the container, you see it is nice and chilled. Okay, so the force meat is properly chilled, it's nice, airy. Okay, I have already seasoned the chicken. Okay, I am using the chicken skin from the chicken that I have deboned for the meat. Okay, so that I have a little extra space. Yeah. Now I'm going to add this force meat on top of the chicken, seasoned chicken. Okay. Spread it out a little bit. Now we are going to add the internal garnishes. Okay. Now the internal garnishes, we have a lot of internal garnishes here. Okay. Now now we are going to add different internal garnishes. Okay, randomly. So when we roll the galantine, okay, it will all come together in a slice. I am putting prunes, okay. And I will be putting some pistachio. and a few carrots. Now we are adding the pistachios. Okay, and what we'll do now is try to flatten this out. Now we will roll the galantine, the chicken and the force meat. Okay, so you will understand exactly how it is rolled. This is why your roulade has to be in a temperature. Okay, the temperature has to be maintained. This is exactly why, because when your roulade is cold, okay, when it is in the proper temperature, it rolls very nicely. Okay, once we finish rolling the roulade, you have to secure both the ends tight into a tight knot. Okay, and then we are going to again retie it into a muslin cloth. Okay, now after we have secured both the ends, okay, we have tied it like a candy. Okay, now it is tight. Now we are going to submerge it into the stock. Okay, now we are going to submerge it into the stock and let it cook. Okay, if you see that the stock is reduced, you can add a little more water. Make sure it's inside the stock and it is boiling. Okay. Once the galantine is cooked, okay, we will cool the stock down, strain the stock, and then put this galantine in a stock into a container, and then apply weight on top, and then it is going to be in the chiller for the next overnight. Okay. And then the next day morning, we will remove it and we will coat it with saffron and we will present it. Okay. This is the entire process for a chicken galantine. So now we have come to the final stage of the preparation of chicken galantine. Okay. Where we are going to cover the chicken galantine, which has already been cooled and stored at a cool temperature inside the fridge. Okay. Overnight. Okay, since everything is set together and comes in a nice block. Okay, now saffron is classically made of velouté, which is added, aspic is added to the velouté. Okay, so when it is made hot, it is of course, you know, in a pouring consistency. But when you put it onto the chicken and you set it inside the fridge, it gives a nice glaze. Okay, it gives a nice glaze. The color is off-white, but you can play along with the color. You can add pureed spinach, giving it a natural color and flavor. You can add pureed vegetables. You can add pureed beetroot, give it a nice red color. Okay, puree of red peppers gives you red pepper coulis. Okay, if you call it red pepper coulis, gives you a nice orange color. Okay, a deep color for your saffron. So now we have the completed chicken roulade, which is right in front of you. We are going to cover the roulade with the saffron. It acts like a glaze. Even in bakery, okay, we use glaze to cover a lot of pastries. Make sure to cover the entire roulade with the chaufra. It gives a nice color, a nice texture, and it is like a sauce accompanying the meat. Okay. The gelatin from the aspic and the veloute, so it cools down the veloute. It forms a nice glossy. You see the sheen, the gloss that comes over the galantine. Okay, now as you see, the chaufra is already set. You see the glaze that is coming off the chaufra. Okay, this is the amount of coating that you have to give to the chaufra. Okay, so the amount of chaufra you have to put. Now we have a few set of vegetables that are cut fancily here. Okay, which we are going to place on the chaufra as a garnish. Okay, now you can use various kinds of fancy cut vegetables. So this is the kind of a garnish that you can give to a chaufra. Natural elements. Okay, garnish should not be just a mere decoration. It should be a part of the meal, and you should be able to consume it as a part of a meal. Now we will slice the roulade to see. As you see, the inside of the roulade is already cooked. Okay, the meat is cooked. You can see the prunes, the egg. Okay, the texture is really good. Okay, so with this I conclude the chicken galantine. Okay, this is the entire preparation procedure, and we have already seen how the galantine looks from the inside. Okay, you can present it with a cold leafy salad. Okay, a nice chilled leafy salad and some crusty bread as an accompaniment to this chicken galantine. Okay, thank you very much.